The venue for the tribute to my father, Akwesi Roselle Evans. Nelson, yes. Beautiful art. Technicum, yeah.
I'm gonna need a bag too to go up on stage
Alright.
when we get there.
Alright. Oh god, dirt's getting in my toes. Let me cut the camera. Oh my god, I'm getting uncomfortable.
For that, because it's important, because we have to keep our spirits alive. And the best way is through culture and arts. That's who we are. Briefly, I met Akwesi Evans almost 35 years ago. We had a personal and a business relationship. And there are two things I want to say tonight and leave with two things. The first is, Jeff said it best. He had an unrelenting commitment. He could have been rich times over, but he chose to fight for his people, which is a very rare quality in today's world. And secondly, it's sacrifice. When you fight for black folks, those who don't have in this city, in this country, you pay a hell of a price. But it's for a bigger cause. If you understand that, you make the fight anyway. So I want to invite people, based on my memories, to think about commitment and about sacrifice and going forward in his memory and his spirit. Because when you sacrifice, you're embracing the spirit of Akwesi Evans. And I can tell you, for the past 35 years, on all the critical issues in this city, he was there. It's a lonely world. But in the final statement, thank you, it's okay. So going forward, given our battles in this city, in this country, we're gonna need to have, number one, don't be afraid to sacrifice. There's always something bigger than you. And without commitment, we can't save our communities. So thanks for being here today. Good to see you. Keep this going, please. And I want to support you in every way possible when these events arise. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nelson. You know, in order to be effective at doing anything, you have to, some of us don't like to get involved
In this party. It's time to get crazy, act like we done lost our minds. Might get a little faded, thank God my chauffeur will drive. We up in this party, to leave all cares behind. Been grinding hard all week, it's tough for me to relax in the passenger side. Sipping on the shit, I'm about to get loose, I'ma just keep it real. You can take notes or you can get ghosts, I don't care how you feel. I've earned this night, I'ma be alright, and I'ma go home and chill. Look into my man's eyes and you soon realize I'ma give it to the weekend. And when he's up in this party, yeah, he's up in this party, yeah, like do, yeah, he's up in this party, yeah. I'm thinking about my melanin king and how I can't wait to go home and be his brown sugar babe. I know he's gonna run me crazy, and then he's gonna draw me like Miss Daisy. He's so amazing. He never ceases to amaze me. Walking through the dirt until it hurts, 'cause sure he's amazing. And it don't stop. I run this party, I run hip hop. I'm in this party and it don't stop. I know I'm going over the top. I'm up in this party, yeah. I'm up in this party, yeah. Ooh, do, 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 do. Yeah. Don't stop. Thank you. All right, this is Ooh Baby. Tonight's our night and I can't wait. We fell in love, twist of fate. You're a gentleman, beautiful trait. I fell into your trap, but I set the bait. Wanted you a long, long time. I'm so pleased to call you mine. Intelligent brother, looking so damn fine. I'm digging your body, but I love your mind. My body is yours to hold. You got me under your control. You keep telling me to take it slow, but all I really wanna know is if we'll ever pass go. Ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, Thank you, and I guarantee my daddy's looking down with his belt right now. Is it the last one? Very last one, after party. Welcome to the after party. And after that, welcome to the after party. After the party, welcome to the after party. After the party, welcome to the after party. After the party, welcome to the after party. After that, we going home to party with my body. After the party, welcome to my after party. After the party, welcome to the after party. After the party, welcome to the after party. After that, we going home to party with my body. Yeah, to have fun. I'm looking and I'm feeling real good. I'm dressed real classy, but I'm dancing so good. I'm off the Richter with my sassy. I can feel you staring at me. You can't wait to try to track me. Hold up.
Well, I'd just like to say I really appreciated Akwesi all those years. He used to bring his black and white film to me to develop and make prints before digital came along. And what I really liked about Akwesi was his all-encompassing view. It was local, it was state, it was national, it was international. He had an international and historical perspective. So it's not, it is what's going on down the street. What's going on down the street is going on all over the world. And so I really appreciate that. And I'll miss him.
It's the stage and bless it with their creative expression. We'd like to reiterate, the catering is up. There are beverages up there as well. It's all free. The food is delicious, believe me. Truth. I'd like to open up the next little segment. If there are any poets, writers, speakers in the house who'd like to get up on stage for, a minute or so, come speak to our lovely stage manager / all back here doing a lot, working hard. Stacey Shea, come see her. She can get you a couple minutes or so. First up, to get on the mic is a longtime friend of the brother Akwesi Evans, fellow poet, spoken word artist. They would go to the scene and touch the microphone, bring truth to light. This special brother, world renowned, it's Tom, the world poet.
Admiration and respect to Kwasi Evans. I knew him in the 90s in demonstrations. He who made sure that black voices were heard at the International Poetry Festival. Say hi to Ali Awasi. Hi to Dr. Marvin Kimbrough. Hi to Floyd Freeman. You would not have heard their voices if it were not for his advocacy. He was not only an advocate for journalism, clarity, truth, and communication. It was also the knowledge of culture as a way of preserving community. Culture as a way of preserving a continuous community. It wasn't just preserving one culture, it was all cultures meant everything to him. His tactics and strategies. No despair, just tactics and strategies. So what did he do? He used radio, not just radio, he used community radio, KAZI. Newspaper, not just a newspaper, a community newspaper, NACOA. He used direct communication, always at all times, eye to eye. The one thing I respected about him most was that he would look you in the eyes and be fully present when you were there with him. Unlike most of the people these days, who are simply absent with their smartphone in their hands and nothing in their eyes. So thank you all for honoring him. Thank you all for honoring the spirit that lives. But the only thing is this, I have to come to, like every other person has to come to the truth that he is gone, and that every person listening will have to be in the spirit of Akwasi Evans from this moment on. Are you up to it? Will you do it? In every mode, manner, and strategy you can devise. Ah, too many words. Okay, keep it simple. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being in the spirit and honoring the spirit of Akwasi Evans. Yes. Huddled in the hurricane, we drank our whiskey words, we smashed our clear glass certainties, irreparably, irreversibly, irretrievably. We're on sky fire. We're on no leash. We're on borrowed time. We have counted heartbeats. Well, the criminals bade farewell when they couldn't stand the streets, and the poor boy had to back away when the compromises had to meet. We just kept on laughing, handing our poems in the street. The crowds like clouds came and went, smiles last as long as love. Gone in the morning with no warning, we have to trust tomorrow. And sheets of paper wage war with words, laziness, apathy, intellectual turds, secure in their expensive diplomacy. They don't need us or our love. But while imagination sleeps, entrees become main course, or at least allowed out in the East Austin playground. Strange days with strange ways, people look at us as if we're different to them, when all we were trying to do was build a bridge of new smiles. Now time is a fool, as children of folly, we talk of the past as if it's tomorrow. Some of us don't know why it's so important to talk to our neighbour in verse of events. Expression the key, the lock rusted through. So much now really does depend upon you. If it all works out, things will ring true. Just leave the old ways, have faith in the new. It's not these words are old liars, not the costs the man's despise, not just the paper, that's just another carrier, not even your dreams, though they become rarer. It's just a dream, connecting person to person, small dream to small dreamer. From limited visions beyond our imagination, see us tapping at your mental door. Ask us what we came here for. We reply, you know the score. You call us love, we ask for more. For Akwasi.
Any opportunity to wave a flag. I've known Akwasi and I've been here in Austin about 40 years. I want to talk just real briefly about symbolism. I love wearing this hat. People walk in, they see an older white guy, going, what the hell's with the hat? Of course, the hat says, make racists afraid again. And it's got a picture of former President Obama and then, of course, the late, great Martin Luther King on it. I love wearing that hat. Confuses people. And then a plug again for KZI, the voice of Austin, 88.7 FM, where you can hear great voices speaking right from the community, right to the community, including Akwasi's until recently on The Breakfast Club. You can hear Democracy Now!, the only radio station in Austin that plays Democracy Now! And then finally, this flag. This is the African American flag. It was created by New York City artist David Hammond. It replaced the red, white, and blue colors with the trans-African colors of Marcus Garvey's movement, symbolizing the struggle of black people in America. The original of this flag sold for $2 million at Sotheby's. I got mine on eBay for $19. Long live Akwasi Evans.
Elizabeth.
Hello. I volunteered for NACOA for Akwasi in 1991 to about 92. And I want to sing a song for him. And I don't know if I'll be able to pull this off, but I will try. My apologies to Sam Cooke. Hold on.
Let's go. You can do it.
I've talked to you about that. One of my daddy's best